Hi, I'm Justin from Studio One Expert, and today I'm looking at an add-on for Studio One's built-in sampler instrument, PreSonus XT. This is the PreSonus Symphonic Orchestra, or PSO for short. If you're a media composer, then you know how invaluable it is to have a quick palette of orchestral sounds at your fingertips for when you want to get an idea down quickly. Nowadays we're spoiled for choice when it comes to orchestral instruments, but they can be quite complex and resource-hungry, and that's a potential distraction in a writing session. Back in the day, I used to use the orchestral card for the Roland JV2080, and what that lacked in sophistication, though it was good, it gained in simple rock-solid usability. It was an external MIDI box, so there was no need to think about machine resources, just the writing. Now this PSO instrument reminds me of how great that workflow was. It's really comprehensive, there are 300 instrument presets, tons of key switch articulations per instrument, and lots of expression control. So let's have a listen. So once you've got the PreSonus Symphonic Orchestra loaded, you'll see that there are three parts to it. There's the classic orchestra, the contemporary strings, and the music loops. Now I'm not going to cover the music loops today. I know that Marcus covered those in the preview video. I'm just going to take a look at the classic orchestra and contemporary strings. So to demonstrate what this sample set sounds like, I've just created a 16-bar loop that's the kind of thing that you might hear in a game. It's really simple, it's based around two chords, and I literally wrote it from the top down. So I started with the trombone section, then the French horn section, and I just added parts as I went. So I'm going to play you how it builds. So just with the click track, I've key switched it staccato at the beginning, and then it changes halfway through to a sustain. I'll take the click off. Now, the articulations for any given PreSonus XT are in this box in the middle. Now they don't switch from here, they switch on the keys. Quite handily, if you hover over the keys, you can see it gives you the description again, so you don't necessarily have to remember from here to here, which is great. Just put that on loop. So if I put it on crescendo, I mean, it's pretty easy to get around, not hard to understand. And they're really good sounds. That's just the trombone. Let's add, start from the beginning so the key switches kick in again. Let's add some French horn. Now one of the things to point out is that I'm only using the reverb that comes with PreSonus XT. It sounds good. What's interesting is you can add other effects from PreSonus XT without increasing your overhead. So you can have some fun there. The thing is, brass can sound a bit cheesy sometimes, but I think these sound good. Maybe another thing to point out here is that the ranges of each instrument are constrained correctly for each instrument, so you can't play them out of range like you used to be able to do on my old JV2080. Also, if there are effects or anything that's a little bit different, they've rather sensibly constrained the range on those as well. I don't know if we'll see it on these. Maybe I'll find one in a minute. But you can see there are lots of articulations, which is just really useful. I'm going to move on to the classic choir now. Okay, so this is, it's fairly generic choir sound. I always find that choir sounds are quite difficult. There are specialised libraries out there, but they cost way more than you'd be spending for this set. But if you're writing and you just need to know that texture works in any given piece, then you can work out the rest later. You can just, with this set, you can just go and grab what you need, piece it together and work out the details later. As you can hear, it sounds good. I'll put in the classic brass. Notice the performance meter is not breaking a sweat, and I've got lots going on here. So there's only one thing to do, and that's add some classic percussion. In fact, I'm going to play the classic percussion on its own, because this is one of my favourite parts of this library. Let's take a look in the folders. There's absolutely tons of percussion stuff. Marimbas, xylophone. Even within this orchestral cymbal set, there are a lot of sounds. I mean, sometimes you might need to go looking for those swells, but once you know they're in that set, that's probably the perfect sound. And not just in orchestral work either. Okay, finally, let's have a quick listen to the classic strings. I haven't done too much on these, but I did want to point out how good the harp is. The harp is terrific. And within the articulations of the harp, there are tons and tons of glisses and arpeggios. Let's play a couple. I can't resist. Now with delays, we have a dream sequence. You get the idea. Lots of choices. Again, with this cello, you've got lots of runs, interesting things. There you can see where the range is from C1 to C4 here, but if I choose a run, then it diminishes down to what's actually going to sound good. Wow. I mean, there's the basis of a track right there. So if you're a pop writer, songwriter, there are lots of things here for you, especially if the orchestral sounds aren't taking the foreground. If you're using them to create texture behind your track, then this is a great set. Very good value. Okay, so let's just finally have a quick listen to the contemporary strings. These are in sections, and I've loaded up the big string section, which is everything from the low notes of the basses to the high notes of the violins, so you can play the entire string section together. These sounds are kind of worth the money on their own. They're really useful. And I know that there are other packages that do this kind of thing, but they're a lot more expensive. Let's play you some more Articulations. So there you have it. Since becoming a Studio One user, I hadn't really been using PreSonus XT very much, but this orchestral set has already changed that. Whether you're doing mock-ups for a big orchestral arrangement or just grabbing sounds for a pop track, I think you'll appreciate that this set represents very good value. And it sounds great, lots of control where you need it, and a nice small footprint, so it'd be especially great for laptop users. All in all, I think it's a bit of a no-brainer. Thoroughly recommended. I've been Justin for Studio One Expert. I'll see you next time.